Good morning.
Hi, good morning. You're going to find us on the train this morning. We're back in the UK, as you may have guessed. We've come back to sort out some bits and pieces to bring to Portugal with us, important things. And obviously while we're here, we're sorting out our visas. This morning we're off to London, Wilson Street, number 66, which is where we faced our first interview with regards to our Portuguese visas. So we'll see you when we get there.
Hi. We're just outside the Wilson Street 66, ready for David's first interview.
We're hoping it'll be a joint interview, although we couldn't get a spot for two people. We're going to see if they'll do Jen and I today. If not, she's got an appointment another day.
Yeah.
We'll have to do it as two singles, which is a bit annoying. When we try and crash through the gate in a minute, we'll find out.
See you later.
1 hour later.
Travelling around London, doing a bit of sightseeing at the same time as going to the visa application centre. Not quite the embassy yet. What it is, they gather your information in this place, send it on to the embassy. We'll tell you all about it when we sit down and play our feet up.
We tried to go in together, but it won't let me in as the appointment is only for David that day.
What it was, we tried for about 6 weeks to get a his and hers appointment for the two of us, and they just weren't available for some reason. So in the end we decided to go for two individual appointments and do it that way. That we thought, well, at least we've got an appointment. So on that first day, we, as Jen just said, tried to go in together. We just couldn't get both of us through the security, which is reasonably strict. You go through a scanner and there's several sort of people guarding it. Once you've made your way upstairs to the waiting area, and there's a screen up there that calls out your number. Well, I had quite a long wait, and it was quite annoying because it was something like, I mean, we were there 15 minutes before our time, but it took 50 minutes to be seen. So if you've got someone waiting for you outside and you're going through the same process, let them know that, you know, you could be an hour in waiting, even though it's only a very short interview. During the appointment, I was mistakenly thinking that I couldn't take my telephone in or use it, so I actually left that outside with Jen. And my mistake was that although they don't encourage you to get your phone out unless it's at their request, it's more to do with photography. They don't want people snapping pictures or making videos for YouTube inside the actual place, the VFS place. You can use your phone in the waiting area, and obviously you can pull up things on your phone that you may need to print. I thought I had all my paperwork with me, but I was missing several things. One of the obvious ones, which I should have known, but just got lost in the thought process, was that they actually wanted a written letter explaining why we wanted to go to Portugal. Obviously everybody's got different reasons, so I didn't want to try and conjure one up on the day. I thought better to leave it to a second appointment that we could go together, and that gave me time to write my real thoughts on why I wanted to go, because in actual fact they expected us both to write individual letters explaining why we wanted to go. So Jen also wrote out an introductory reasons for going to Portugal, which we all know, we all love the country, and the reasons are obvious really, but nevertheless they want to see it down in black and white. The other thing, I had to explain to them that I was happy to go away because Jenny was coming back 6 days later for her appointment, and I asked them if they would make an exception and allow me to come with her, and they said they would do that by sending me an email giving me permission to come with her. So that meant I didn't have to go through the whole online application system again, which is quite an annoying thing to go through. Time you've typed it all in, only to be told there's no availability. Day after day, that's what we got. So for them to say, yeah, we'll just email and send you print it off. When we go, on that day, I'll have that printed out, and she'll obviously have a normal ticket that's come through the post. What surprised me a little bit was at first I was going along not knowing any better, thinking the whole procedure was just Portugal. But when you actually get there, you find that it's a multinational place to go, i.e. there's people there applying for Sweden, Norway, Ireland, Iceland,
Canada, New Zealand.
So all the booths are calling out for different people at different times. I did actually get called in quite early on, only to find out that the lady said, oh, sorry, I'm only dealing with work type visas, these people that want to go and work in the country or want to go and be a student. And the D7 permanent visa that we were applying for, only certain people seem to be able to do that, because it seems like it's a lot more involved. I mean, the amount of paperwork we're going to have to take is probably that thick when you boil it down. We'll see on the day when we go next time together. We'll just find out how it works out.
Well, while David's inside, we just waited outside, and we thought it was only take 15 minutes, but it took 1 hour. So waited outside for an hour, and we did some filming for TikToks.
Yeah, our daughter's home from college in America at the moment. She came to London with us. So mum and daughter were having a fun time while I was inside sweating it out. Hi, good morning. We're at the station now. We're off to London for our second interview. Jen and I have managed to get a joint interview this time, so we can sit in together and they can look at both lots of our papers at once. So we'll keep you posted during the day how things go, and fingers crossed we get our visa.
I thought it was quite easy. It wasn't so hard because we went in there and then wait for our appointment and to be seen, and then once we've been seen by a lady in one of those cubicles, asked for our papers, and we handed the papers in, and she double checks what needed and required. It was easy, wasn't it? But we need 2 copies of documents, basically, one for me and one for your dad.
I would say that if you're going to the VFS to start your D7 visa application, there's obviously a lot of papers to have in place. There were things that you might not necessarily think about. For example, if you've already, like we had, pre-booked a ferry ride back to Spain to get to Portugal, they insisted on having 2 copies of our tickets to Spain. We couldn't see a reason for that. We'd supplied 1 copy, but it soon became obvious that everything we had to be duplicated. And even though we're applying as a married couple, it's almost as if each of us had to have a complete set of our own documentation. It was a little bit of a surprise. So as you go in, first of all, you queue up, even though you've got a time. There's hundreds of other people queuing, and there are sort of doormen that let you go through a security checkpoint type of thing to get in. You then go to a desk and hand in your paper that you've been sent with your application number and time on it. We paid online £31 each for those, and they take them off you at the gate or at the door and hand you back a small ticket with a number on. So that ticket is the number that gets called. And then when your number comes up, you go to the cubicle and seen by a person, and then you give all your papers, and then she go through it. She makes sure that you've got everything. I'd very carefully staple together things like bank statements in their right order, tickets, marriage certificates, absolutely everything was in groups that had been stapled together. On top of that, I'd marked each group with a label saying what it was. The lady taking the documents immediately unstapled everything with an unstapler, if that's a proper name, and removed all the labels that I'd stuck on and formed all our documents into one big pile. What? She then sorted backwards and forwards through the pile, asking us questions like, where are the marriage certificates? Where are the bank statements? Even though I'd carefully arranged them all and marked them as they were, it seems to be their process that you don't have anything marked up or stapled together. And we couldn't really understand why they did that. I wasn't nervous. Were you nervous? I was anxious because I didn't want to turn up with something missing that meant we had to go away and come back again, and it's been difficult to get an appointment. It took me 6 weeks just to get any kind of appointment for us, so it's a long drawn out process. So you're kind of anxious that and a lot of people there are the same. Have I got every document that they're going to ask me for? Now, they give you a checklist, but it's a kind of half-hearted checklist. Not absolutely everything's on there. And a prime example of that would be our ferry tickets. There's nothing in their bump to tell you need to bring proof of travel, and yet they asked for 2 copies of it. So that was a surprise. All in all, I'm glad it's over for now and that they've taken all our documents and stamped them. But it's fingers crossed now for up to 6 weeks before we hear anything. So I'm going to say, this is for both of us. In conclusion, if you are going for the D7 visa, or probably any visa, definitely pays you to double up on everything and even take things that you don't think you'll need, just stuff it all in, because something that happened to us was we had our Portuguese bank statement to show that we had a Portuguese bank account, and on the statement it didn't show our names individually. It's a joint account, but fortunately, because I'd stuffed every document in, we had the
contract from the bank,
the original bank contracts, which did have our names on. And I was umming and ahhing on whether to even take those because I didn't think they'd be needed. But in the end, I stuck them in the case with everything else. And goodness me, I'm glad I did, because that would have been another headache.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's not a simple process as people would have you believe. It's not impossible. You just got to jump through a few hoops and hopefully come out the other side with good news. Anyway, good luck to anyone else who's trying it. If you want to ask us questions in the comments, we're definitely happy to try and answer. Obviously, we're no experts, but at least we've been through the system now, well, the application system, so we might be able to answer some of those questions you might have. It's kind of noisy here, so I hope you're getting all this. Okay, see you in the next one.
Bye.